right back. I have to get my washcloth.
Okay.
It's still hot.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Oh,
Okay. And here we are. This is the podcast now. Hello, everybody. Hi, everyone.
I think what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna start it with hold on, I'm gonna get my washcloth and then.
No, you're well, it's in the episode now, so you have to. For context, it's very hot, and so I have a washcloth that I have had moist and in the fridge so that I can dab it against my forehead to cool off while we record because I can't have my fan going because Zoom will pick it up. Hi, everybody. We're
I'm really
talking about Mrs. Arris Goes to Paris, ain't we, love?
yeah, yes, we is. Uh I wasn't the thing when I was going into this episode is like I realized I had no idea of like what I wanted to talk about before we actually started. So I'm glad you kind of took the reins on that. You gave us something to talk about and then you immediately burst us into the episode. Uh
Here we are
we're
talking
here.
about a delightful little movie that I don't think I'm going to have that much to say about, but it was a nice one. It was a good watch. I had a good time.
Yeah. And we should clarify at the very least for those listening out there, uh, have you seen the Leslie Manville version?
I have. I remembered very little of it plot wise. I remembered everything up to like the Dior fashion show, which I did not realize I had forgotten how early in the story that is.
It's
I just I misremembered that being like the big. There's a lot that I realized I was misremembering from when I watched that movie, but yes, I have seen.
yeah, I have also seen it. I'm pretty sure I remember it better than you do because I
Sounds like it.
loved it.
Oh,
Um,
I really liked it too. I just
no, but I
yeah
loved it, Gordon. I loved it.
that
Lovedit. Anyway, but
Love Edit.
shut up. Anyway, uh. Although you mentioned the fashion show happens really early. I guess we're just diving right in, but
Yeah,
it
why not?
it happens so early in this one because they just speed through fucking everything. Like I've never read the original book or anything, but I feel like after watching both movies, I have to assume that the Leslie Manville version is the one that's more book accurate because this one feels just so much rushed and so much more simplified and like so much more just like I guess the best word for it might be like the Leslie Manville version is more bittersweet while this one's just sweet.
Yeah, yeah. This one is not a movie that is really dealing in anything less than sweetness, really,
Mhm.
except for your one evil French man who's
Yeah.
evil and bald.
Very bald and very evil.
Yeah. Let me do the rundown here.
Go ahead.
So we are talking about Mrs. Arris with an apostrophe goes to Paris from 1992, directed by Anthony Pullen Shaw, who I told you not to look into because Getra maybe you already knew this. He is Angela Lansbury's son,
Oh,
so
that's
that's
fun.
nice. That's pleasant. Written by John Hawksworth, based on the 1958 novel by Paul Gallico, which was the first in a series of Mrs. Arris novels, where she goes to various other places. Do you know? Do you want to guess what the other three places she goes are?
I so I did like briefly like see like I because I looked up the original novel and I did see those name titles, but I can't remember. I think one of them is Moscow.
Yes, it's New York, Parliament, and Moscow are the three other places she went. So
Good for
good for
her.
her. The movie stars Angela Lansbury, Diana Rigg, Lothaire Bluteau, which is a great name. I love Lothaire Bluteau. That's great. Great French name there. John Savedon, Lila Kay, introducing Tamara Gorski, and special guest star Omar Sharif.
Special
Uh,
guest star.
it's a movie. I don't think movies can have guest stars, but we've run into that before, haven't we? I don't remember what, but like something else we were talking about had a special guest star
I
for
think that
being
was a
a
couple
movie.
episodes ago. I don't remember exactly which one, but it was something pretty
I feel
recent.
like it was like Jocelyn Brando in Dark Knight of the Scarecrow or something like that.
Maybe.
Weirdly, I don't know. The movie was broadcast December 27th, 1992 on CBS. It followed an episode of Murder She Wrote, which I thought was nice. Uh, on ABC, they were showing Married to the Mob. On Fox, it was all repeats of Married with Children, Herman's Head, Flying Blind, and The Ben Stiller Show. And on NBC, it was Opportunity Knocks, the Dana Carvey con man movie.
Hmm.
So couple, movies just showing, you know, like theatrical, not like TV movies that were being broadcast, just like, let's throw on a movie tonight, and then a bunch of repeats. So this was your one new programming of the evening if you wanted to watch that.
When did this air?
It was December of 92, a couple days after Halloween. Yep.
After Halloween, yes.
Nope, leave it in. I'm gonna roll with
Famously,
that.
the December holiday, a few days after Halloween.
Yep. Anyway, that's it. That's the movie. Those are the specifics and the details and everything.
Okay, so first place, obviously, we have to go into Angela Lansbury is delightful.
Yes.
We knew this going in, and she thoroughly delivers on being just the most charming person you have ever seen on your TV screen.
So sweet. So I mean, like the version that both of us were familiar with ahead of time, Leslie Manville, also very sweet and charming, but like I mean, you can't beat Lansbury when it comes to this. Like this is a role that was written for her, which I mean, the book came out in 1958, and it feels like it was destined to be a early 90s Angela Lansbury thing. Like she is such a perfect fit for the material. She's so sweet. She's so pleasant and kind and endottering, and it's just this doesn't work if you don't have somebody this delightful in the role. And Lansbury just like it's right in
Mhm.
her wheelhouse, and she delivers perfectly.
What's that word you used? Endottering?
Doddering,
Oh,
like
I I,
a
I heard like
oh,
and
I
doddering.
said and doddering.
Okay. But I
Yeah,
also haven't heard the word doddering before.
it's like a maybe I'm misusing it, but let me look up. Doddering means moving in a feeble or unsteady way, especially because of old age. Like
Okay.
she is, she's not a sprightly character. She's definitely an older character as written and as performed, but like sort of like a Miss Marple type. Like not to bring it back to Murder She Wrote, which
Oh,
is
of course.
inspired by, but like your unassuming older spinster character who still has maybe a bit brighter than she lets on is sort of how I've seen that used to describe like fictional characters or whatever.
All right. Yeah,
I
I
don't
get
know.
that.
Maybe I
Anyway,
am fully misusing it contextually. I don't know, but
anyway, that's your televised TV movie story word of the day.
doddering.
Doddering. And sorry for that.
Anyway, I mean, again, I didn't take that many notes on this movie, so any tangent we can take to fill out the time here, because like it's just a pleasant movie. It's just a nice movie.
Yeah, it's very simple. Like if you like we're gonna keep bringing up the new movie, but that's just kind of inevitable when that was kind of pretty high profile, especially for our circles. Um, but yeah, it's like while the new movie had like a lot of these different like side stories with their own little like plot twists and intricacies, it's like this one just takes all that out and just in favor of the mean French guy trying to stop her from getting the dress, and she's like, no. And then also the nothing love story that's in there.
I
Two
will
nothing love
take
stories.
I will take your word on that because I don't remember those more intricate moments of again. I remember this movie as being almost over by the time she sees the Dior fashion show. So like
Maybe you fell asleep. I don't know.
I didn't fall asleep. I think I just was paying less attention after that point. I don't
It's
know.
like you saw the dress and now you can just kind of forget about everything else.
Yeah, I mean, I knew there was stuff that happened after that, but
Yeah.
I guess I remembered the movie a lot less than I did because I also remembered the Isabelle Huppert character, who in this is Diana Rigg, being a much more antagonistic force than she
Yes.
ultimately is. She's like so kind in this that like I don't know. I also really want to rewatch that
Yeah.
Leslie Manville one. Just I mean, for obvious reasons of I forget a lot more of it than I'm realizing, but like I also just really liked it, and it's been since then since I've seen it. So
Yeah.
I need to go back.
So that's one of the things with like because in the newer one, Isabelle Huppert, she she takes on both the roles of like the antagonist who is like doesn't want her to get the dress, but then also is like later on like very close to uh Mrs. Arris. But in this one, it's like they split it between the bald evil guy and Diana Rigg. It's like they
Oh,
again, I think that's something they did in order to like make more characters in order to simplify it emotionally. By like this was the evil one, don't have complex feelings, just dislike this guy and you'll have a good time. And then
that makes sense.
another one I remember with the Marquis in the newer one, there is this whole twist where it's like Mrs. Arris is falling in love with him, and he is falling in love with her. But it's because, well, actually, maybe not falling in love with her, but there's a scene where uh, it turns out like the Marquis really likes Mrs. Harris only because she reminds him of a maid he had when he was younger, and that like puts like a really bad taste in Mrs. Harris's mouth, and she breaks
Oh
things
yeah.
off,
I
and
do vaguely remember that now that you mention it.
and then also before it's like you get a lot more with like the people that Mrs. Harris works for and more friends that she has and like there's the whole scene at the beginning and end like where or like there's the one actress that she works for where when she comes back from Paris it's like she lends her Dior dress as to her but then it gets burnt up on accident and like she has to throw it into the river and then but then the people in Paris for some reason hear about it in the newspaper. Like why is that something being published there? But anyway, they're like, "Oh, that sucks. We're gonna make her a new dress for free." And it's actually the dress she wanted the whole time. But anyway, that's enough about a different movie.
I mean, again, we're gonna need it because I don't know if I have a ton to say here, but yeah, it does make I that all is coming back to me now that you mentioned it all. Like, yeah, I do remember that. I wonder if that is from the book, and this just
I think it
didn't
must
adapt
be.
that.
Like, I'm gonna look up the book real quick. Another fun
Okay,
fact about this whole thing is that the original release in the UK was called Flowers for Mrs. Harris because I think maybe having Mrs. apostrophe Harris might be seen as a little insensitive.
potentially so. Is the author not British? I thought he might have.
He's an
Well,
American.
oh, well, there you go. Okay, maybe it is. Maybe we are dabbling in a little bit of cultural tourism with that. I don't know. Is the actor who plays the Marquis in the remake, is that anybody?
Let me see. Lambert Wilson. Yes,
Okay. I know that name, but I can't remember from what.
he's in the
But
Matrix movies.
oh yes. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Is he the not the is he the Merovingian?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. That's fun. That's neat. Um yeah. What do I have written down
Oh,
about
oh
this
wow.
movie?
Lambert Wilson has a lot of TV movies. I think they're
Ooh,
mostly French or something, but still.
that would make sense. So is he. Um Omar Sharif, well, we're on the marquee. I found him delightful in this movie. I think he's very pleasant, very again, pleasant, charming. These words, it's hard to not use them when you're talking about this movie because everything in it is so, without being like too saccharine and like drippingly sweet of like, oh well, everyone's just nice. This is not like a nice core type movie to an annoying degree, but I did find Sharif to be a very calming presence in this movie. I found him to be like he has that perfect debonair gentleman's quality about him that like I wanted all the world for him. I wanted things to go his way. I wanted him to reconnect with his daughter and granddaughter.
Hmm.
I liked that like the movie didn't go too far on the romance angle between the two of them. I liked that they had a sort of mutual respect for their, the way their lives had gone to this point with their losses of loved ones. And I just really liked all their scenes together. I thought they had a really good rapport.
Hmm. Yeah, I one of my few notes here is during like when Mrs. first goes to the fashion show and sit next to him, Omar Sharif is on screen and I'm immediately smiling. He's
Yeah.
he's just a instant like a familiar face I always love to see.
Also, very handsome. A
Of
very,
course.
very good looking silver fox in this. Like,
It goes without saying, but yes,
yeah,
he is a very handsome man.
he aged extremely well. That hair, that mustache, he's looking good. He's looking very good here. Uh, excuse me. Um,
Oh wow, he
yeah,
only died in 2015.
yeah. It was like only a few months after Peter O'Toole, right? Like they died not too long apart from each other. I feel like
I guess I'll check that
maybe
out.
O'Toole was 2013.
Um,
Uh, but
yeah, I think that sounds right though. That yeah, he was 2013.
okay. But yeah, not too far apart for the two of them, all things considered. But yeah, I mean, I think he's a very welcome presence in this movie. That I was I was thoroughly charmed by. I'm trying to find new words to say, but like I mean, it's right there. It's such a good word for it. It's a very charming, pleasant, sweet movie. And how many more times can I say it? Listeners at home, don't comment about it because I am insecure about my word choice sometimes.
No, please, somebody out there, please count every time we say sweet, charming, or pleasant, and then and then drink every time it happens, and then you'll have a very good night.
DM Christoph on Blue Sky with your findings.
Kristoff's going to
Uh,
be the one counting.
well, then message yourself, fucko.
Message me on Twitter or Blue Sky.
Perfect.
I
Okay.
or just leave a comment on Spotify because that it does have comments. You can leave them. We have gotten one so far, but please leave more. We
We've
love
gotten
you.
two. We got a comment about the Second Civil War. I messaged you about it.
Oh, wait. Oh, okay
And the
then.
only reason I bring it up is because it was from the same person who left that other comment, and I didn't want that person who listens to the show, obviously, to think that their comments are going unnoticed. Thank you for your two comments. We appreciate it.
Jason Simone.
Yes,
Simon.
shout out. Simone is your first pronunciation of that name, huh?
It's Cimon.
Oh, that makes sense. I thought it was just Simon, and you went for Simone first.
I mean both of them are some possibilities.
Yeah, but not what I would have immediately gone to.
But with the C, it's
Yes, that with a C, I get it more.
yeah. Anyway, thank you, Jason, for
Thank
commenting.
you.
Please leave comments on every episode. And also if you don't haven't left a comment before, please do. We like to
Yeah,
see them.
only nice ones though. Thank you.
No, I want the
Thank
mean ones
you.
too.
Thank
I
you.
I want all comments ASAP.
Okay.
Directly in my mail them to me, please. I'm
Yes.
I'm at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue.
I was gonna make the exact same joke. Oh boy, what else about this movie? There's a point early on that I did take a note on. Again, I didn't take very many notes, but there's a point where they're on the bus and her friend is talking about someone. I don't remember who, but she mentions that he might as well import women. And Mrs. Arris goes, "White slaves?" Which I did not expect that to be a part of this character, that she's being fear-mongered about white slavery, but there you go. That's something in Mrs. Arris Goes to Paris.
And there's also I think at the very end of that scene, Mrs. Arris opens up a newspaper and it says Maharaja weighs child bride in gold. And it's just like, why is that the headline you have?
Why is that in this movie?
Why? And she opens it up excitedly, kind of, just like, oh,
Yeah.
what's this about?
Okay, what else though?
I did like when she finally goes to Paris and we see the following things in order. a cigarette smoking cab driver, a fancy lady walking a poodle, a man with a basket with a baguette sticking out, and a man having just used a public toilet buttoning up his pants.
Those classic French iconographies.
That's the definition of Paris in visual form.
All you need is a man with a baguette, or not a baguette, a beret and a striped shirt riding a bicycle with a very big front wheel.
No, the big front wheel is a British thing.
It's
That's
also
the
a French, well, then a
it's the
regular
penny
bicycle.
farthing.
A regular bicycle.
No, the French are unicycles, idiot.
Okay. And he has a big mustache.
Yes, big twirly mustache.
Yes. I feel like this movie could have been more like it doesn't necessarily feel French when she's in France. I mean, I'm sure they didn't actually shoot in France, but like it doesn't really feel like the location is outside of those like opening shots are is really like captured as much as I would have wanted. But when you're working on a TV movie budget, I know you can only go so far as that, but no, like the scenes on the street market and everything didn't feel especially French. But
Mhm.
these things happen.
But they saw the Eiffel Tower. It has to be set in France. They have to be there. What are you talking about?
They've got one of those in Vegas.
Hmm.
So
Another
maybe
thing.
this movie Mrs. Mrs. Agus goes to Vegas. Yeah, why isn't like Mrs. Hunden goes to London? Mrs. Hoskow goes to Moscow. Mrs. Parliament goes to Parliament.
I was trying to think of a name, but I'm just laughing too much at yours. This
Mrs.
is
Mrs. Sri Lanka goes to Japan, funnily enough. She got on the wrong flight.
I'm laughing too much at this. Um, I keep trying to think of something with Tokyo, but I can't find
Just
a name.
all I've been doing is changing the first letter to an H. I don't know why you're getting hung up
No,
on
no,
making it a
it's
real name.
Mrs. Pokey goes to
Sorry,
Tokyo.
do you think that Parliament is a real name that people have?
Yes, it is.
Moscow? What do you think I'm doing, Eliza? Anyway. Oh boy.
Wait,
Um,
wait. I have one. Mrs. Apton goes to Cape Town.
why wouldn't you make it Ape Town? Why would you specifically alter the pronunciation of a made up name that you're making up on why what are you talking about? Eliza, you're better than this. I know that. I know you.
What about a woman whose name is just Rio de Janeiro and she goes to Rio de Janeiro?
That's something. There you go. You redeemed yourself. Mrs. Hoisey goes to Boise. Okay, what do we have
Now that's a
here?
good one. That
Yes,
actually should be a thing.
Diana Rigg. To speak more to this cast,
She
always
is.
delightful, always a pleasant. I like that she gets to be just like a nice regular woman here.
Omar Sharif goes to Kiev.
Hey, that's a little bit something. That's a little bit something.
Anyway, um, Diana Rigg. Always love to see her. She's good here. She doesn't really get too much to actually do outside of just be kind of nice. Which,
And and briefly talk about her dead husband as well.
yeah,
But she's not the only one in this movie talking about dead husbands and dead loved ones. So it doesn't quite hit in the way that like, your average character who gets to monologue about a dead loved one. Like this movie is chock full of those. We got dead husbands out the wazoo.
yeah. And it's like I can't remember if in the newer one, like she also had a dead husband there, or if that was something for this one. Or because like I could imagine that being like something they used to humanize her after she's been a bit mean to Mrs. Arris. But who knows? Um,
Yeah.
yeah. Do we want to talk about the Nothing love story? The with the model and the guy. I don't even know what he does.
It's not. No, she's not a model. She's a maid, right? Is she a model?
She modeled the dress that she picked.
Oh, and then I guess because I
She,
thought she was working at the house where Lansbury stays for a bit.
I
I thought she was in
no,
like a
she
maid's outfit there.
so she helped clean the house of the guy
Okay, okay. I
Miss Angela Lansbury is staying at the guy's house, and
Miss
he
Angela Lansbury goes to
Bunsbury.
yes.
I don't know. I think it's just Bunbury. Anyway, um, no, Bunbury is the fucking importance of being earnest.
Anyway, yeah. I if you couldn't tell from that mix-up, I was not paying the most attention to that section. It didn't really like. It was fine. It was it was a sweet romance. I like when he beats up the shitty boyfriend at the end and punches him onto a car, and the doorman just does a little snicker of like, "Oh, look at that
I
shit ass get his face beaten in."
That is one of the things I wrote down. The guard going ooh he beats him up.
Yeah, I mean it's fine. It's your requisite sort of like romantic subplot between two characters that are both into each other, but both don't realize the other one's also into them, and something something. But
Only Mrs. Arris can tell them that they are actually in love with each other.
she's a matchmaker. She's filling
Okay,
that role.
now that you've said that, I wish we had. Wait, I was gonna say I wish we got Angela Lansbury as Dolly and Hello Dolly, but I think she was Dolly at one point.
I would not be surprised.
I think she was the London Dolly, and if it wasn't what's her name? Uh, Carol Channing. That's right.
I thought for a second when you said that, I thought you were going to say, I wish we had gotten Angela Lansbury as Tevye just because of the Matchmaker song.
I mean, she would be a good Yenta as well.
Yeah, but no, cast her as Tevye. Just give her
Let's.
a great big fake beard.
I mean, she could do it. I believe her.
Yeah, well, not anymore, but
I mean, hey, don't never doubt Angela Lansbury.
that's fair. She could be a zombie Tevye.
And like we saw in Night Gallery, it's like death won't stop you, or
Yeah,
whatever they say.
shout out to a podcast episode that has not released yet as of the time of this one dropping. But
Comes out Monday the
14th
13th, 14th.
14th I thought,
Yeah, 14th.
of the Whatever Happened to Betty and Joan podcast, where we talked about two horror TV movies starring Betty Davis and Joan Crawford. Uh, Very fun episode. We recorded it earlier this afternoon. Go listen to that when it's available, to do a little plug for that.
And this is the best time to do a plug in the middle of a random episode.
It came up. You brought it up.
I know, I know. I just thought it was funny that like this is when we're talking about it.
I might as well. It's not like we do anything on this show to a particular structure.
Hey, it's good that we were at least getting it out instead of just forgetting to mention it because we did one of our instant endings.
Yeah, I mean, I would have made us go back and record a little bit more to tack on the end if we had forgotten it. But oh, here's something else that I have in my notes. This is from the IMDb trivia, as always.
Love that.
When Ada, Dame Angela Lansbury, turns down Vi's, Lila Kay's, invitation to go to the cinema so she can put the money toward her Christian Dior dress, Vi urges her to reconsider, emphasizing that, quote, it's Cary Grant and Grace Kelly. The movie to which she refers, To Catch a Thief, 1955, wasn't released until 2 years after the scene takes place. I forgot to read at the beginning of this piece of trivia. Goof, not a point of trivia.
Then put it in the goof section.
Yeah, what are you fucking doing adding this to the trivia page and specifically pointing out this isn't trivia, this is a goof? There's a whole page for that. They have that on there. That's like a whole thing.
Now I'm going to actually look up the goofs page and see if that's in there.
It's possible that this movie just doesn't have a goofs section.
It
Let's
has a
see.
goof section and it's divided into factual errors and anachronisms.
As usually are.
Factual errors. When Mrs. Harris first sees the dress in her employer's bedroom, she is told it costs 450 guineas. Mrs. Harris later tells Violet that it is worth 450 pounds, and when she goes to Paris, that is what she buys it for. But a guinea is worth 21 shillings and a pound only 20. So 450 guineas is not the same as 450 quid, and the guinea price would make it 472 pounds, 10 shillings.
The red Ferrari 275 that Natasha Petitpierre's Tamaragorsky boyfriend picks her up in is from 1965. Way too new for the 1950s movie setting. In 2023, a Ferrari 275 is worth approximately 1.65 million US dollars. That part is not a goof.
That is
That's
not.
trivia. That's trivia.
This page is
IMDb,
a
clean up your
mess.
shit. Clean up your fucking shit.
Oh man.
You know what we can't source for information about this movie?
What?
Wikipedia. There's
Yeah,
not a Wikipedia page for this movie.
I was shocked when I found
Just
that out.
straight up, not a Wikipedia page for this movie. What the hell?
Yeah, I was surprised to see that just because like I feel like this is enough of a movie that exists that like you should get a Wikipedia page for it, especially with the other version that came out. Like
Yeah,
just give it a brief little Wikipedia page. There's probably enough info out there to make one. Who's gonna do it?
you are, I think.
No, I'm
Not it.
not it.
Too late. You said it second. You got to make the Wikipedia
No,
page.
but you know who didn't say not it? The person listening right now.
The one, our one listener. So you, the listener, go
Kristoff,
make the Christoph,
go make it.
make the Wikipedia page.
Oh man. Yeah, Kristoff,
Um,
make the Wikipedia page for this movie you're not gonna watch.
we trust you. We believe in you.
We do believe in you, Kristoff.
Um,
Honestly, it's like even though like Kristoff is the only listener who we know is probably listening to every single episode, I also just kind of imagine like Kristoff is the name of everyone who listens to the podcast. Like it's the our fan base's name.
for these 40 minutes that you're listening, you are all Christoph.
I hope you feel honored.
Yes. My only other note that I have is that this was a one-time Emmy nominee. Did you see what it was nominated for?
Uh, when we got to the scene at Dior, I went to look up, did this also get a nomination for costume design? And I saw it did.
It did. It lost to the Sinatra miniseries,
Ooh,
which, fun tie-in for next week's episode. Not about that miniseries because that's too long to be on our show, but we are doing the Rat Pack, so Sinatra, not even adjacent, just a different Sinatra thing from
we
around this general area.
we mentioned Sinatra, and we will mention Sinatra next week as well.
Yes, we will. Quite a bit, I imagine, on account of the movies about him. So
Not
it would be,
just him, but also the rats in the pack.
yes.
God.
Can you tell we have nothing else to say about Mrs. Arris Goes to
Okay,
Paris?
I actually do have something I want to talk about.
Well, never mind. What do you have to say about
So I
Mrs.
didn't
Arris Goes to
have any
Paris?
more notes, but there.
Well, never mind.
Wait,
Bye,
stop,
everybody.
stop, stop, stop. Let me talk. Okay, so something like I like this movie, but the thing that I really realized told me that I wouldn't be loving this movie was during the fashion show scene. And again, I'm comparing this so much to the newer version because I love that movie a lot. And when it got to that scene, it's like when we saw the dress that like Mrs. Sarah like Temptation or whatever, it's like I felt like just by seeing the dress, I knew that that was the dress. And it's just like I just had that immediate connection with it exactly at the same time that Mrs. Arris did. But with this one, I didn't feel anything seeing the dress. And honestly, the dress they had in there is kind of ugly. And it's
It's a
just like
totally fine dress. It's not anything special, unfortunately.
and it's just like that's a failure of the costume design. If you have, and it's like that's what makes something like this work better as a book because you can just imagine the perfect dress you want. But with a movie, you gotta make a real dress, and somebody's gonna wear it. And if it doesn't live up, you're just letting the viewers down. And this one kind of does. And it's like it's almost like that during the whole movie because in with the way it simplifies this story into just being kind of sweet all the time, it's like you don't really get any kind of emotional highs with it. It's just like without the lows, you can't really bounce back up. And so it's just kind of a constant state of, oh, that's nice. And it's like, I want to feel more, but the movie doesn't really give you a chance.
Yeah, it's just kind of the what am I trying to say? Outside of evil bold Frenchie, there's really no there's forlornness where they're reminiscing on their various dead loved ones, but like there's not really any
Conflict.
lulls. There's no conflict. Yeah, everybody loves her. Everybody is so nice to her and is through and through. Like there's a little bit of conflict when she first shows up at the Dior house and it's like, oh, I'd like to buy a dress from the Dior store. And Diana Rigg at first is abrasive to like, who are you? But then very quickly is like, oh, I have been in your same place and good taste and cash are hard to come by. Come to the show and you will have a front row seat. And I will defend you to my dying breath, essentially, right off the bat. It's like, I will die for you, Mrs. Harris.
She
Uh,
she likes the cut of her jib.
exactly. So there's really not a ton to go off there,
Mhm.
unfortunately. So it just sort of, I mean, it's not nice to a fault to the point that it becomes grating, but it does at a certain point you want more
Yeah.
than what it has to offer.
It just makes it feel a bit empty when it should be, like so full.
Yeah. Oh well.
I still liked it. I still liked it
Yeah.
quite a
Oh
bit.
no, I liked it quite a bit. It's very good.
It's still in the top 15, top 12 of movies we've done
Let me
for
see
me.
where I ranked it for me. I have it at I have I no, I do need to move it a bit lower down than that. I think I ranked it while I was watching it, and it did. I don't know. It's still in my top 12, 15 as well,
Mhm.
somewhere around there. Good movie, sweet
This,
movie.
I feel like whenever we do movies from our priority list, it's never as good as when they get picked randomly.
That's a little fair, I would say.
Because like yeah, we like this, but we didn't care for a second Civil War that much. But then it's like some of our favorite episodes are things that are just randomly picked out of the blue. Although sometimes we do know like movies we like.
Yeah. Curious to see how that works for the rest of the month because all three of them are the ones that I've been the most excited about. These first two were ones that I like. I didn't really know anything about Second Civil War, but I was excited for that. And this one I was excited for. But like the next three we have up, I am very excited about. And so hopefully they live up to that. So
Yeah.
we'll see you back next week
Or the Rat
for
Pack.
the Rat Pack. Uh,
Are we gonna have any
cut it
final
there.
lines?
Nope, cut it there.